understands it and can put the pieces together. And, that's something that For the People has been able to do for many years is, read the tea leaves, tell you what's important, what's going on, so you're informed. And there's nothing better to be informed and be in the know about it because, let's face it, we get out and we have conversations with people and somebody mentions something, and if you just don't have anything to say because you live under a rock, and admittedly, I sometimes disconnect. Sometimes it's just a good thing. But as a talk show host, I have to be connected. So if you go away for 2-3 days, you go away for 2 weeks, you tune in, I bring you up to speed. That way you don't have to knock yourself out, in the dark, with your iPad. But you got it, and it's all we do. People say you do a bang-up hour, and we appreciate that. So that's why we want to expand the broadcast. So if it wasn't for the feedback, if it wasn't for the nice things that the radio stations have said that carry the show, we wouldn't be doing it. So it'd be one thing if we were just saying, oh, yes, it's just us that believes this, but it's not. Now, Trump's eyeing a bid to split up the Ninth Circuit Court amid sanctuary cities. What does a very important lawyer have to say about all of this? Is it possible? There's activist judges, something that's not really all that new. But Judge Napolitano, Andrew Judge Napolitano, he's a Fox News contributor, very well-known judge. He weighed in on this a little bit earlier today with Steve Ducey from Fox and Friends.
The split up of the Ninth Circuit, which has been discussed for years.
How do you do it?
It would be legislation. Congress would have to do it.
Well, that's not going to happen.
It's probably not going to happen because the Democrats would filibuster it, and the Republicans have 52 votes in the Senate. They'd need to get another 8 from among the Democrats. But if it did happen, it would simply divide these 17 or 18 judges, active sitting judges, into 2 or 3 circuits. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure that doing that will serve the president's purpose other than symbolically, because these are lifetime appointments. Sure. And liberals, just like conservatives don't want to leave when there's a Democrat in the White House, liberals don't want to leave when there's a Republican in the White House. Yes, the Fourth Circuit, which is headquartered in Richmond, Virginia, for many, many years was the most conservative in the country. President Obama succeeded in turning it around almost 100%. It is now second only to the ninth in its population of being filled with liberal judges, because President Obama was steadfast in trying to do that. So these ideological turns can happen. But Ronald Reagan and both Presidents Bush tried very hard to turn around the Ninth Circuit, and they did not succeed.
All right, so it'd be interesting to see what Donald Trump will be able to do this, but he did have some words that everybody was just loving to play. But this is Donald Trump with what they just recently did, shooting him down pretty much.
I'm never surprised by the Ninth Circuit. As I said, we'll see him in the Supreme Court.
Well, you got to fight. You got to fight for what you believe in, and you got to do the right thing. And enough people got together and made Donald Trump president, and, with all the conversation about 100 days and everybody trying to critique the president, there is some very promising polls shown that more people are stepping forward saying they're very pleased to see the direction of the president and the handling. And admittedly, the Tomahawk missiles didn't hurt with a strong policy there in the Korean Peninsula. We had to take a stand, and there's going to be a stronger stand with other countries, even with trade agreements now with Canada, with the farmers. It seems that there's so many different things that a president has to handle, and Trump seems to be up for the challenge and seems to be very engaged with the key people that can make these things happen already. After talking to Mexico and with Canada about redoing this trade agreement, they're all for it. They're all on board. Because Trump, he's a negotiator. They need us more than, we need them, be the truth be known. But we want good deals, and nobody's been strong enough, have a backbone to be able to do that for us. And finally, I got to tell you, I think that's what the enthusiasm is, to see Wall Street on fire about it. But it's not just Wall Street, it's Main Street. with the tax cuts, with really fighting for us, having a real, if you will, Rocky Balboa in the White House. Standing up to these people. People say, Donald Trump, he's a bully. I think he's a Rocky Balboa. I've used this when he was campaigning, the analogy with Donald Trump. He's a fighter. When you're in business, it's a fight. You have to constantly be out there defending what your product, standing behind it, getting out there. It's a rough world sometimes. But if you believe in your product, you believe in what you do, you got to put a face on it. You got to get out there, no matter what anybody says. If you believe in your product, somebody else will. Somebody else will come to your aid. Somebody else will do it. But what's more important about all of this is our belief in America, our belief in our children, our belief in remaining free, remaining prosperous, remaining a country that respects life. That's right, respects life. I said it. And respects all freedom, no matter what religion you are, what color you are. But we have to be American together. As a country united. We have to stand united, and unfortunately, there is these divisions, and a lot of it's caused by divisive media that leans to the left, and that's why a program like this is so important. And thank you, Fred Reeves, for the encouragement on Facebook earlier today when we sent a post out. We appreciate that very, very much. It was very kind of you. To say the things that you were, yes, thank you for praying for us and for what we do each and every day. But yes, I have the belief system that we have to push forward. Because if we don't, then shows like this and other programs that you might find that are conservative in nature, they're going to be gone if the left gets their way. And believe me, they will fight tooth and nail. And there might come a day, folks, there might, honest to goodness, come a day where you won't be able to find a show like this. And that's why I'm asking you now to please get behind us more than ever. So please give what you can today at forthepeopleshow.com. Get a raffle ticket. If you can't buy the raffle ticket for $25, then go ahead and just make a donation. There's a place there where there's a button that says make a donation. So maybe you can give $5, maybe you can give $150, maybe you can give $4,000. Maybe somebody's gifted you to do that. We've had friends through the years that have been able to write us bigger checks, and when they were able, they did. They got us up and running, got us equipment that we needed, and many of you helped us out doing that and helped Chuck out for the years. And speaking of that, if you're a long-time Chuck listener and you supported Chuck for years, I'm asking you to please support me because I'm carrying this. I'm carrying the torch. It may not sound like Chuck. It's Keith. It's 2.0. It's for the people, but this is 2017 now. You might remember Chuck 20-something years ago. We're moving on to the future, and to do that, I'm asking you once again to please find some warmth in your heart and get motivated here. And that'll help me and help this country so much. And thank you in advance. By the way, a big thank you to anybody that was feeling a little bad about what happened to Dr. Dow on United Airlines. Apparently, United Airlines is trying to make you feel good about what they do again to fly the friendly skies. United Airlines issued a report today addressing the April 9th incident where the 69-year-old passenger, remember Dow, dragged off the plane, refusing to give up his seat for an airline crew member. United laid out a series of changes that included increasing training for employees. So they're going to talk to the employees and how to treat passengers with respect and all that good stuff. And here's the big kicker here that might make you fly United. $10,000 incentive for voluntarily bumped passengers on overbooked flights and a promise to reduce the amount of overbooking on flights. $10,000 incentive. I'm serious. For voluntarily bumped passengers on overbooked flights, will give you $10,000. The review goes on to say that United will no longer require already seated customers to give up their seats. Wow. Look at that. Well, looky what we have here. No kidding. Wow. That's pretty big. If you're already seated in the plane, you got your luggage already stowed. We're ready to pull back. We've all been on planes, right? Most of you. That's what Dr. Dow did. But then all that just wasn't necessary. But, man, they know they did something wrong. They wouldn't be offering all of this. Their stock was down. It's still down, but they're going to have to. But that's some incentive. I'd say that's a major improvement. But all airlines are going to have to really start rethinking this and stop doing the cattle call thing and start respecting the passengers, because we have choices. May not be as many choices as we used to have, and where is People's Express when you needed them? JetBlue's okay. Southwest is pretty decent. I like Southwest. I have flown United on some puddle jumper planes from point A to point B, and I'll tell you, I'm not very impressed with the puddle jumpers. I've had bad experiences with United when it comes to their smaller fleet. But how do you feel about that? Do you think that this was an admittance, or is this something that they have to do to reassure the public that this is not going to, I mean, this could affect any of us. But I like that. If I'm bumped, here's $10,000. You know they're not going to be doing that, but if it is, there's $10,000. I feel good. Okay, yeah, maybe I'll feel better. Maybe I'll fly United. And if I'm seated, they're not going to ask us to give up our seat. So United has not indicated whether ticket sales have dropped since the video at David Dow went viral. But Oscar Munoz, the CEO, admitted that the incident could be damaging. Well, ticket sales have been down. The business channels have been saying it. I breached public trust with the event and how we responded, Munoz told the Associated Press. People are upset, and I suspect there are a lot of people potentially thinking of not flying us. The review spelled out United's policy on how it selects passengers for involuntary bumping. First, anyone without seat assignment is denied boarding. Passengers who paid the least for their ticket top the list for being bumped involuntarily. Passengers who paid the same fare are sorted by when they checked in for the flight. Customers with the status for United's Mileage Plus frequent flyer program won't be bumped unless everyone on the plane has status, in which case the people with the lowest status get bumped first. Unaccompanied minors and passengers with disabilities won't be bumped. Thursday's statements also confirmed the company's failure in dealing with the event, including calling on law enforcement to assist in passenger removal. So they have rethought about what they've done, and it's a big PR nightmare for United. Yeah, it's cost them a lot of money, hundreds of millions of dollars already. And again, this whole Dr. Dow, where he should have just got up, or, well, you know, something good came out of this. Something positive came out of it. I've been on flights where people have been bumped. I've never been bumped myself. Actually, there was a time where I got on a plane and somebody said it was their seat. I was already seated, and they found another seat for this customer where there was some kind of, I guess they overbooked the seat. But luckily there was room in the plane, so I didn't have to get off the plane, nor this other customer that, again, was told there was a seat available for him. He was really surprised that I was there. But anyway, folks, man, what a world that we live in. Still looking at North Korea. This is a big story right now. A top commander in the Pacific said he believes that Hawaii needs more missile interceptors in response to the